You were taught that love means staying, that strength means enduring, that goodness means shrinking so others can remain comfortable. You learned this early, quietly, through 1,000 small moments that taught you. Your needs are negotiable. Your discomfort is tolerable. Your voice is too much. And you became good at it, good at understanding, good at accommodating, good at keeping the peace, good at everything except choosing yourself. But here's what no one told you. The love that requires your disappearance is not love. The peace that demands your silence is not safety. The connection that asks you to override your knowing is not intimacy. It's conditioning. And conditioning is not truth. Truth is this: you were never meant to earn love through how much you could withstand. You were never meant to prove your worth through patience. You were never meant to believe that your role was to absorb tension so others could stay at ease. You were meant to exist fully, to speak honestly, to leave when it stops feeling right, not when it becomes unbearable, when it stops feeling right. And somewhere deep inside, beneath the conditioning, beneath the fear, beneath the belief that you're asking for too much, you already know this. You know when someone isn't choosing you. You know when effort is performative instead of genuine. You know when you're accommodating to avoid conflict instead of expressing to create connection. You know when chemistry is just anxiety dressed up as attraction. You know when you're staying because leaving feels like failure, not because staying feels like love. You know, you've always known, but knowing and acting are different things. Because acting requires you to trust that choosing yourself won't result in abandonment, that setting boundaries won't result in rejection, that walking away won't result in loneliness. And you were taught that it would, so you stayed, you tolerated, you waited, not because you wanted to, but because the alternative felt impossible. But here's what actually happens when you choose yourself. Space opens, clarity arrives, peace settles, the right people recognize you, the wrong people eliminate themselves, and you realize you were never asking for too much. You were asking for enough, and enough is exactly what you deserve. Not because you earned it, but because you exist. This is your activation. Stop waiting for permission to honor what you know. Stop explaining your boundaries to people who've already shown they don't respect them. Stop giving chances to patterns that have already proven themselves. Stop confusing anxiety with attraction, intensity with intimacy, endurance with devotion. Start trusting early knowing. Start leaving before you're exhausted. Start choosing calm even when it feels unfamiliar. Start believing that you are enough, not when someone finally sees it, but right now as you are. Because the transformation you're looking for isn't external. It's not finding the right person. It's becoming the right version of yourself. The version who knows her worth without needing proof. The version who trusts herself without needing validation. The version who chooses herself without needing permission. You don't need another strategy. You don't need another explanation. You don't need another chance to give. You need to return to what you already know. That love is not supposed to feel like survival. That connection should not require your disappearance. That partnership means meeting, not managing. And when you stop accepting less, when you stop tolerating confusion while calling it patience, when you stop staying in pain while calling it growth, everything changes. Not because the world shifts, but because you do. Your standards are not too high. They're finally aligned with your worth. Your boundaries are not too rigid. They're finally protecting your peace. Your instincts are not wrong. They're finally being honored. And the moment you start living from this knowing, the moment you start acting from this truth, the moment you start choosing from this clarity, you become unavailable for what was never meant for you. Not through effort, through embodiment, not through force, through presence, not through performance, through being. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about remembering who you've always been, beneath the conditioning that taught you to shrink. The woman who knows what she deserves and refuses to settle. The woman who trusts her instincts and honors them immediately. The woman who walks away early and doesn't look back with regret, only relief. She was always there, patient, certain, waiting, and now you're finally letting her lead. So here's your truth. You are not difficult for having standards. You are not cold for having boundaries. You are not demanding for requiring effort. You are not too much for wanting consistency. You are not broken for choosing calm over chemistry. You are not giving up for leaving early. You are discerning, self-led, whole, and wholeness doesn't beg. It doesn't convince. It doesn't wait endlessly. It simply exists, fully, unapologetically, clearly, and that is magnetic. The people who are meant for you will recognize this. They won't make you question it. They won't make you prove it. They won't make you shrink to access it. They'll meet you there, naturally, clearly, consistently. And the people who aren't, they'll eliminate themselves, not because you pushed them away, but because your presence makes misalignment impossible to ignore. This is your power, not in what you do, but in who you become. So activate this truth. You are allowed to leave when it stops feeling right. You are allowed to trust yourself without evidence. You are allowed to choose peace over potential. You are allowed to exist fully without apologizing for it. And when you do, when you honor what you know, when you act on what you feel, when you choose who you're becoming over who you've been, you don't just change your outcomes, you change your reality, because you are no longer the woman who stays too long. You are the woman who trusts early. You are no longer the woman who tolerates less. You are the woman who requires alignment. You are no longer the woman who shrinks for comfort. You are the woman who expands in her truth. And that woman, she doesn't attract confusion. She creates clarity. She doesn't experience chaos. She embodies calm. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She chooses herself first. This is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning of your return to the self you've always been beneath the conditioning, to the knowing that's always existed beneath the doubt, to the woman who was waiting, patiently, certainly, for you to come home. She's still here, steady, clear, whole, and she's been waiting for this moment when you finally stop asking permission to honor what you've always known. This is your activation, not to become someone new, but to return to who you've always been. Welcome home.